Welcome, punters, to another episode of Tipster, where this month we're looking at the month of June. Before we get into the details, Michael Gannon, how are you, mate?
Good day, mate. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Yeah, absolutely. Been a bit of an eventful week, hasn't it, Mick?
Yeah, a lot going on in the world of racing. Never ends, and well, we'll just back up here and do it all again.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be talking about some of those events. Before we do, should recognise that this is the last month of the racing year, so very interested to see. We'll probably do a bit of a review next month and see who the best tipsters are of the racing year. But before we get on to that, just want to think about what's coming up. Obviously, we've got the Caloundra Cup.
Yep.
Any thoughts about that? Bit early doors here. We're filming this midweek, but I thought I'd throw a bit of a wobbly at you, Mick.
Yeah, just throw a couple of curveballs at me as you like. So we've got the board up there at any old odds warning. I think looks like not a bad value run. A bit of rain forecast up there on the sunny coast. So yeah, have a little bit of something each way on warning.
Burning the midnight all last night to pick that one out, mate.
Absolutely.
There we go. Yeah, and of course, most people in Twitter's or Xsphere, you can't say Twitter sphere anymore, would have known or heard or some sort of inkling about Fleetwood. I mean, as Mick Gannon would say, another way to get beat.
Another way to get beat.
I heard your words echoing in my ears when I saw that tweet chaos. Talk me through it.
Yeah, well, it's just a nightmare, isn't it? So nightmare for punters. The horse went enormous. Basically, Damien Lane's come out and said that it was the horse's fault. So you cop that on the chin, and away you go. And really good from Racing Victoria Stewards. It came out on Tuesday and gave us that information. So communication, transparency was there. I was one of the punters that was obviously hit by that little loss, and is what it is. It's the great game, another way to get beat, but we'll just find another winner, and we'll keep on keeping on. And I think we've got a winner as well coming up at the end of the show in the best bet section, so that'll be good. Mixed moral.
I like that. I get knocked down and I get up again attitude there, Mick. Very, very good indeed. I mean, would that be one of your worst beats, or if it's not, can you remember whatever was your worst beat?
It'd be top 10,000.
Top 10,000. Can you remember your worst? Is there anything you can tell us about it?
They all accumulate. Like you just become upset with the world, and it all snowballs down, and you become old and grumpy, and it all rolls into one, really, to be honest. I don't remember any of my worst.
No, well, look, I can't remember the horse on mine, but I remember I had 1,000 people talking to me. I wanted to get this bet on. Juicy odds. It was $30 plus, which, I'm typically not backing at that sort of price. And it was one of those scenarios where you put the bet, you hit the button, thought you were on, and there was a change in price. Oh, yeah. But I haven't looked at it, I'm talking and whatever. I think I'm on. The first thing I do is about 5 minutes after the race, have a look at the balance, as we all do, and it's still showing what it was showing before. Heart drops, look at it, and the rest is history.
Yeah, another way to get
Very
beat.
Disappointing. That's another way to get beat.
Let us know how you got beat, another way you got beat. Let us know your bad beat of the year. And if it was Fleetwood or as good as Damo's was, let us know. Yeah, let us know.
And of course, you'll take your pick from any of the premium packages. Could be yours truly next to me, Mick Gannon's. We've got Dave Gately, Mark Hunter, amongst others that you can pick from to get a free trial. All you've got to do, of course, is you've got to put your alias or your login ID from the Great Tip-Off there. So if you haven't done that, it takes a minute, not even, to sign up. Get your alias, post it down there in the comments section on YouTube, and give us the story. What's your worst beat? And the best three, we're going to give a free trial to of their selection. So yeah, get into it. What else is happening, Mick? We'll tell them what's. Of course, we're going to look at the best punters / tipsters in June. Top 5 all over in the top 5 media. We've got free tips coming, free horse racing tips. What else do you want? Exclusive early on for some very big names today. Some very big names. Guys and girls. In fact, I think it's just guys this time who have gone very, very well in June. You have to hang around. Don't forget to comment. We'll be back soon.
This is Tipster, of course, brought to you by theGreatTipOff.com. And Damo, here's the leaderboard for the month of June. This is everybody, not just media, not just pros, punters. A real... well, what would you call it? A Worksburger with a lot, and the Zoff on top here with 155% profit on turnover.
Yeah, look, did well. That's a nice number, 155. That basically means, if you think about it, sometimes people say, what do you mean by turnover? you put $100 in, you're probably going to turn that over 3 times. So in this case, if you put $100 in, he's probably looking at 1.55 times the 300. He walks off with $450 to $500. So that's roughly how that sort of gets translated. $9.27 is the average price. I'd love that any day of the week.
Oh, absolute fill up. Full credit, hats off. In second there, Tom's brother Ronnie Hanks. Got the pro symbol there, 120% profit on turnover.
Yeah, he's been here a few times, hasn't he, this bloke? And yeah, look, I found a few large ones, and that's what you get, I suppose, don't you? But it has the pro symbol, so that suggests it wasn't just a stab in the dark. Ronnie's been doing this for a while, and we have seen him here, haven't we, a fair bit?
He's been here about, yeah, and he's like a tiger there with his tiger symbol. He's strong and powerful, Ronnie. I love
Absolutely.
it. In third, Mr. Robinson, or M.
It's actually
Robinson,
M. Robinson.
I should say, yeah.
I was going to get the.
I was looking to break out the song.
Yeah, I was going to do the same. We're showing our age if we're saying that.
Yeah,
but,
true that.
Anyhow, so there, yeah, look, there he is, 97% pot, 7. I mean, again, you see a common theme there on the right. You know, a lot of us like to get on a few shorties because we've got the confidence. But it just goes to show, I suppose, a trend on this board, Mick, would have to be that you're rarely seeing someone with a $3 average price there.
Yep, absolutely.
You
got a tip value, and our man in fifth, he did a good job there. But in fourth, of course, Bear Robinson, my man Richie Robinson from down in Tasmania, absolutely dominating proceedings. Does all his tips down there in Tassie, and he has killed it for the month of June.
You know what? Like, I'll tell you what, if you're looking to have a punt and you're not sure who to follow someone like the Bear. Tasmania in particular, like there's probably 2 or 3 tracks I can think of at least, and you know, to get to know the number of horses going around there and the track traits, is a much easier job than trying to work it out on the mainland. So if you're in doubt, search the Bear at theGreatTipOff.com. Follow him. Yeah,
if you've got nothing to do on a Sunday at 11 a.m. or 10 a.m, the Bear's the man to jump on there. And in fifth there, Ben Ascari.
Yeah, there's Ben, of course, racing.com, does a good job there on TV, on the channel, I should say. And look, Ben's actually been pretty consistent for a while before this. Remember, you're pretty elite to get in the top 5. You've got to be very elite with over 1,000 tipsters each month. So you're getting top 5, like you're, you know, in a very, very small percentile there. It's less than 1%, if I'm doing my math correctly. So here's Ben, 72% pot, 47 tips. I mean, again, look, $4.76. So for a media tipster, that's pretty courageous to be pushing him out at that number.
Yep, absolutely pure domination from Ben there. That is your leaderboard, top 5 for tips of the month for June. Tips of the month, media edition for June. And of course, well, we just touched on him, Ben Ascari in first, but in second there, Graeme Whitey with Sky Racing, does most of his work down south.
Yeah, so Wagga, Albury, that sort of area. He's a good bloke. He presents so well, Graeme, on TV, and good bloke we hear from talking to our Sky Racing contacts. You know, Graeme's sort of been on the show before, presents well, and knows his stuff. Like another guy who's often in the winner's circle. Yep. Again, you get into this list, you're doing extra special, and he pops up again, $4.79, average price, lovely. And yeah, 60% pot, gotta like that.
Absolutely, complete fill up from Graeme. And Paul Kelly, not only is he a great musician, but he's lobbed here from the winning post, 51% profit on turnover. Hats off to you, Paul. You've done a great job there. 44 tips, 9 winners, a big value, $7.40, Damo.
Yeah, well, if I was running a book, it was wince odds for you to say that. Yeah, what you just said, wince odds.
$1.01.
So yeah, Paul's done some good stuff there with the Best Bets crew. Yeah, look, good result, $7.40 average price.
Super stuff. Mitchy Cohen there in fourth on the Telegraph, dominating proceedings, 50% profit on turnover.
Yeah, and that's part of that. We basically won each of the weeks except one, which he just was shy off in the month. I respect that because it's so darn hard to do.
Yep, absolute super stuff. And in fifth there, Richie Callender. Big man from Sky Racing, dominating proceedings in May. 47% profit on turnover, Richie, and 41 tips.
Yeah, look, Richie has been in the game for a while, so it's no surprise to see him on that board. Again, the value's there, $5.46. And look, Richie was going to be on the show, just he's super busy these days. Oh, Rich,
Out like
he did try his best, but he's promised he'll show his face on a future edition of the show. And yeah, all the best to you, Richie. And look, great result.
Yep, there it is. Tipster of the Month Media edition for June.
Okay, punters, this is the part of the program where you get free horse racing tips for this coming Saturday. Listen in, we've got some stars lined up. All right, so Brad Davidson has had a great month, tipping winners left, right and centre. Just before we get to his free early mail for the weekend, come to the site, theGreatTipOff.com, put into the search bar Brad Davidson, and you will have a page that comes up and you can get exclusive access to his information you can't get anywhere else. It's got a whole bunch of information around it. It's like a Davo's race book for the day, because not only has it got all the stuff you need, but it's also got his intel locked in there. So look for that. And here is his early free tip.
G'day guys, my name's Brad Davidson and I've been a form analyst for about 15 years, doing my best, working hard in the background. You can find my tips at braddavidson.com.au and also at theGreatTipOff.com. You might see me around on radio and a bit of TV as well. But this weekend, guys, Ferrari at Flemington is my best bet. Look, I thought she was outstanding at the midweeks last time out. Both their wins this time back have just absolutely smashed the clock, and I think stepping up to 1200 is no issue on breeding. Just has to handle the straight, but I think she's a bit too good for them, and excited to see what she can produce there at headquarters this weekend. Good luck to all punters this weekend. Hope you have a winning day, and don't forget what's gambling really costing you. For free and confidential support, call 1-800-858-858 or visit gamblinghelponline.org.au. Always gamble responsibly. Take it easy. Cheers.
All right, next up we've got Jett Hatton. Now there's a name we've had on the program before. Jett's a great guy. He's over there in the news camp these days. I think we're seeing him pop up on punters. And Jett's had he's another one who's had a cracking month, I should say. And Jett's got early tip for us for Saturday, and here it is.
Hey punters, Jett Hatton from the Daily Telegraph and punters.com.au here. Appearing on this week's episode of Tipster. Heard I had a good tipping month in June. Hopefully we can continue it into July. I'm about to get stuck into the form for Saturday's meeting at Randwick. I normally do the tips for meetings on a Wednesday and a Saturday in Sydney, and I'll occasionally fill in for the country meetings around New South Wales when need be. So I also don't mind a bet around the country, and I've actually had a look at one at the Sunshine Coast on Saturday that I'm going to have in an all-up with a horse from Randwick that's from the same stable. So we'll start at Randwick, race 4, number 10, Clear Thinking, from the Arrowfield and Massara yard. She's only had 2 starts, this mare. She was only brought to Australia originally as a breeding prospect, but she showed the stable with some pretty good ability, and that's certainly translated into the racetrack, winning 2 from 2 at Scone, both by big margins. I know it's a step up in class on Saturday, but I feel like most are at their level, whereas she's not. She's going to keep rising through the grades. And that's the same story with a horse at the Sunshine Coast in the Winx Guineas race 6, number 5, Know Thyself. 3-year-old gelding from the Massara stable. He comes out of a highway where he quickly put a couple lengths on his rivals. He couldn't have done it any more impressively. Looks highly promising, and it is a Group 3 stepping up from highway class, but history suggests that the Winx Guineas isn't really a strong race, except for them from the Great Mare when she won it a few years ago. But I don't think the horse really needs to do much more than what he did last start, and he's only going to keep improving as a lightly raced prospect. So put them 2 in a double, you get a nice price. And for all my tips, you can head to punters.com.au, where they're all free race by race tips for Randwick on Saturday, or you can buy the paper and get them on a Friday and Saturday. So yep, good luck on the punt, and hopefully we're back plenty of winners.
Hey, we mentioned Graeme White before, Mick, and Graeme White has agreed to come and give us some early mail. Graeme, what have you got for us?
Good afternoon, everyone. Hopefully we can find plenty more winners for the Great Tip-Off, and follow my selections on Sky Racing, Sky Thoroughbred Central tomorrow. Our race meeting is at Goulburn. Pretty cold at Goulburn at this time of the year, but I think we've got a few winners in the early races. Selena Donato from the Gay Waterhouse stable only had 1 start and did run second. Was a very good trial the other day. And the other day, I thought it was probably just going to improve a bit off that trial. In race 2, I like Duke of Bronte. This horse has only had one start for Matthew Dale and been able to win. Was very, very impressive. So we'll get the money early at Goulburn. Then on Saturday at Randwick, I really like I Found You. This horse from the Snowden stable was so impressive winning its debut, and I think he can win again. So there are our 3 winners, hopefully, for this weekend.
All right, punters. Well, there we go. There's the top, the cream of the crop, Mick. We've looked at there.
Creme.
But of course, the site has lots of winning punters on it, and that's how we're different, because we show who's winning.
And sometimes who's losing.
We say sometimes who's losing. Well, there are losers on the site at a point of time, but obviously you'll know when you come to the site who is winning.
Absolutely. theGreatTipOff.com, best place to go for all your tipsters, see how they're performing. And of course, articles, Group 1 feature articles, all in. The All In Show, we're back in the spring. We'll kick off. Not sure who I have to my left and to my right. But
I was going to say, is there any insight there? We got the old crew back, or we're not sure yet?
I haven't reached out to them. They've been in Europe
sunning
themselves. So how would you know what they're up to? Every time I send them a text, it just turns green. So who knows where the boys are? But we'll reach out. Hopefully they're back. All In will be back in the spring. The feature articles, market movers, lays. Of course, my favourite article of the week, and if you're bored, you can just read Luke and My's Best Bets article on a Saturday, which, just to be fair, just dominates every week.
There we go. There's an insight. So, great tip-off, and of course, the YouTube channel. Keep close by, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. You've got to subscribe.
Otherwise, you'll get it late, and then you go, why didn't I get these tips? Because you weren't
I missed Mick's moral. How could I do that?
Well, you can't, and it's going to be simple. We're going to go to Randwick on Saturday. There's a bit of rain coming. We just need a little bit more. Flying Crazy in the Winter Stakes, around $9.
Flying Crazy?
Yeah, I'll let you go watch the replay and determine your thoughts on what happened last start, and then I think you'll be on board. I think Flying Crazy will handle any further rain, hopefully a heavy 9, heavy 10, and Flying Crazy J Ford aboard will be very hard to beat over the 1,400 metres.
It's like the story of my life, Flying Crazy, but there we go. Mixed moral. You heard it here first on Tipster. I think that's about a wrap, but don't forget, hey, to tell us your hard luck story on the punt. You can take your pick of a premium package. There's about 4 analysts, Gator, Mark Hunter, Michael Gannon, of course Brad Davidson. I left Brad out, and I'm probably missing 1 or 2, but there's a few in there. Of course, Heath Pope. There's a few others there you can pick from. So, and you know, that's a great package valued up to $30. So, tell us your hard luck story. Before we go, I was going to say, like, if you ever, Mick, like you would have done this in your time. You've thought something was home and you got nuts, like the old mate here with the beard and the tie and the suit.
The early crow.
He's going nuts. Watch this.
Oh no.
Watch this.
Oh no.
Watch this.
You've gone off
and he
too
still
early.
hasn't realised yet.
Oh, the daughter said, "Oh, you're going to get beat, Dad."
Daughter's told him the bad news story, and I'd love to know what he said at that point. Did you see how he went silent? And then he said something.
Oh,
that's what I want to know. What did he say at that point?
He's gone at the 300, and the horse has been beaten at the 50. No, I haven't been done as that bad in the early crow, but I've definitely been done. I'm probably more inclined to call one home, coming over the top and not getting done. But hey, look, at least you had that great feeling of winning for a little moment.
I'm glad he wasn't on English in that TJ Smith when Chautauqua came out of the ground, because I think he would have necked himself.
I was dead set.
It was way less obvious than that, wasn't it? But yeah, look, that's part of the game, the great game, the early crow. Look, we've all done it. I don't know if it's that bad. I'd like a little feature on the curse, because the guy sitting next to me here has been responsible for many of those in my punting career. But that's another day, isn't it, Mick?
That's in a whole new show now.
That's a whole new show. So look, punters, that's a show. That's a wrap, Mick, I should say. That's our show for this week.
That's a show. We're back in the first Wednesday in July. Looking forward to that. No, it'll be August.
That'll be August, of course, yeah.
It'll be this fella's birthday a couple of days before, and looking forward to that. We'll do a wrap of who's absolutely dominating the racing calendar here.
Sounds good. See you then, punters.
Bye for now.